Hello, welcome to the live stream. Today's Q&A. Hopefully we're live now. A bit of a delay in this kind of thing. But yeah, looks like we're live, hopefully. So welcome guys if you're here. Looks like we've got 4 viewers already, which is pretty awesome. So thanks for joining me guys. Today's going to be we've got a minute yet until it really starts. But yeah, today's going to be a Q&A about anything to do with Amazon, FBA, mainly OA, RA. So thanks for coming guys. So yeah, I'm happy to answer any of those questions. And we've got some good ones already in the Discord group, so we'll be discussing those as well. But yeah, feel free to throw your questions in the chat and say hello guys. Just sort my chair out. Ugh. Awesome. Yeah, I keep getting this warning saying my bit rate's too low, but hopefully the video's okay. I don't know. It always keeps coming up for me. Anyway. Maybe it's because my video's 4K. Anyway, next time I'll make it 1080p maybe. You don't really need to see me. You're just here for the knowledge. Cool, right, stream settings, stream health. Cool, awesome, right, well thanks guys everyone for joining. Feel free to throw in your questions in the Q&A. And I'll get started. Yeah, I just got a good question. Anyway, we'll get onto that anyway in a second. But yes, I can answer that question. Cool, right. So a few questions that people have populated in my Discord. If you guys are on my Discord, you can go, link in description, I'm pretty sure, or someone can put the link in on the chat to join the Discord group. You know, it's just a free Discord group, trying to build up a nice community of people. Where we just chat and hang out and ask questions, and I'm there to help people out. I think quite a delay actually in my live stream. I think it's like 30 seconds, so it's going to be a bit jarring. But anyway, I'll keep going anyway. Guys, doing well at the moment. I'm on 440 profit today, so thank God things are going pretty well this month. On 7,755 profit, which is crazy. Absolutely nuts, to be honest, that is. So if I keep looking around, guys, I've got a monitor here, cameras up there, a bit of a mess. Let's get into the questions anyway. Oh, hi, Brandon. How's it going? In the car, and the signal's really bad. Well, this is going to be available afterwards, I believe, so it's available on YouTube afterwards, so you can always watch it then. So we had a few questions. The first one was about liability insurance, actually. Not a very exciting topic, but actually, to be honest, I totally skipped on this. I actually tend to delete most emails from Amazon, which is kind of a bad habit. They sent one out and actually did find it in my bin on my email about liability insurance. And it looks like they're going to be bringing that in for third-party sellers on Amazon. So I know I've spoken to people in the past about liability insurance, mainly around private label. And I think it was only like £300 a year, to get something like that. So I'll be looking more into that. I'm not an expert right now on liability insurance, so I'll be looking more into that. It looks like Amazon up to this point have been essentially doing it all themselves. So hopefully that will be something I'll look into, and I'll give some more information for my Discord members. Unfortunately, I can't give too much more knowledge about that. But yeah, it looks like it's something that happens in the USA right now. But yeah, essentially it's in case a customer buys whatever you sell, and then they hurt themselves or their property gets damaged. They might go after Amazon, and then Amazon will come after you, basically. So it looks like Amazon might deal with it if it's under £1,000, and over that, I don't know. I need to look more into it, basically. So not an expert on that one, unfortunately. So I think it's Lauren. So my Discord names are truncated because I'm on like streamer mode, so you can't see the whole name. You just see like the first letter. Although it's not worked on one person's one, which is really weird. Really buggy actually. It's strange. So I think Lauren asked, how often when doing online arbitrage am I relying on discount codes, Amex points, I think it was, and to make up the profit percentage to make sure the leads look sort of profitable off the bat. So when it comes to coupons and discount codes and things like that, yeah, really important. That is like everything you buy generally for OA, online arbitrage, is either on a sale or always on a discount code. It's very rare to find things that are just RRP. So yeah, they're very important. I'm just going to close this down because it's really annoying me. It's a bit laggy. Yeah, so that's kind of really important. Basically, everything you're looking for is on a sale generally. So very rare to get RRP items to make a profit. It does happen, but then they're really available, readily available. So the more barrier to entry you can add to buying your item, either a coupon code that's not easily found, or if a sale happens, you're quickly to get in there, you can get the best deals, and that's why it's good to like learn a category, learn a site. That way, when the sales come on, right, laser in on those particular brands, those particular items, those replens, get them bought as soon as the sale happens. And then, you get them and hopefully they'll be sold out, by midday or whatever. Hello, Cargyle Source, who said some random stuff. No problem. Yeah, so really important. So yes, I factor that stuff in. That is a immediate discount. So it's like it discounts your basket and you don't pay the full amount. So if it's a £100 item, you get 50% off. Only £50 comes out your credit card. So it's guaranteed sale, 100%. Amex points, do I factor them in? Never. I mean, they're so minimal anyway. It's like, is it 1% or something, depending on which Amex you've got. I suppose technically it is kind of guaranteed, but I'd say if your lead is so razor thin that you need to add in that 1 or 2% from Amex, it's probably not worth it. For me, it's just the added bonus on top. I never factor in Amex. And one thing you didn't mention there potentially is like top cashback and Quidco. Again, some people factor that in to the profit. Like a great example, for example, used to be Holland and Barrett. They used to do like crazy coupon codes. You could stack like 2 or 3 coupon codes on their website. Take a £100 basket maybe down to like, I don't know, £50 for example. And then they were paying like 25% on Holland and Barrett. And some people used to buy items, break even on the sort of £50 cost, and then the profit would come from the 25% cashback. I never did this. It's quite a risky strategy. If they don't pay out, then then you're scuppered basically. You're just selling stuff for for no money. So, but it's a strategy that is in theory okay, and you can actually get some very fast selling items that way. It's just best to have profit in it and then use Quidco, top cashback. Again, links to those in description, I think, to like add those in as like extra profit on top. It's just a bonus basically, if that makes sense. So never rely on them really. Yeah, we've got 8 concurrent viewers, guys, so that's amazing. So thanks for joining us, guys. That's really awesome. So yeah, but there's all sorts of different strategies you can use, and basically, I did a video ages ago talking about like building a moat around your business and like the products you buy, and if you can find good coupon codes that no one knows about, or get on the sales quickly, or maybe there's a good cashback or something that basically are not available all the time and only maybe you know about or very few people know about. That way you can get your costs down. And that can be your competitive advantage basically when it comes to buying stuff. So you want to be thinking about that really. And the more complex a purchase is, the better it is. And complexity can come from things like, it could be cashback, it could be coupons, it could be something like that. It can also come in like doing bundles and stuff. So maybe take like a shampoo, conditioner, put them together. That adds a level of complexity. So it could be like doing a 3-pack of like shampoos. Again, adds another level of complexity because you can't buy a 3-pack. So when people are scanning, let's say it's a L'Oreal shampoo, they do the scan, the UPC or whatever it is. They'll find it on Amazon and go, that's not profitable. But then if you look deeper into it, you'll see actually, there's a 3-pack that wouldn't have come up when you scan that UPC, and that 3-pack's profitable. And yeah, people do pay more for like 3-packs and stuff and 6-packs or whatever on Amazon. So they have it on like subscribe and save, or they've just bought it in the past and they don't shop around. People on Amazon are lazy. I'm lazy as well when I buy stuff. I very rarely shop around when it comes to stuff on Amazon. So yeah, that's basically just building up sort of moats around what you're doing, basically. Cool, so hopefully that answers that question. It's pretty important. Okay, let's take one from the chat then. Brandon says, I've been doing OA online as they've been abroad. God, I can't talk. But back in the UK for a few months looking to start RA. Any tips? Yes, I'm not an RA expert to be fair, but I know the basics of it and stuff. You just need to go to the stores all the time, basically get a good loop of stores and just do it daily. Find out what the clearance sections are. Every store has like a clearance section, or either in a specific area, or there might be just a clearance section somewhere where they dump everything. Like my local Asda has like a clearance section where they kind of dump, and it's really kind of hidden away. It's like near the back. And they put just all the real good clearance stuff on there in that area. So that could be from like health and beauty to like Lego and stuff. So, and then the other thing as well I'm going to suggest is join Mental Picks. Again, link in description, I hope. That is a fantastic RA, especially if you're only in the UK for like, a few months. You want to just join that group. And by the way, if you sign up, you get, using my link, you get 15 minutes free coaching with me. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, they post like RA leads all the time, so that way you're going to be like hitting the road running basically, and be able to like know immediately where there are leads. Like right now, Smiths, there's loads of leads at Smiths for RA, so unless you've got Smiths in your little loop, you wouldn't know to go there. So that kind of gives you the clues of where to go, and then from there you can then try and find other items in that store. So yeah, that's the best tip I can give you. Really, is join Mental Picks basically. Yeah, it's if you use the code FBA Mogul, I think it is, you get 30% off on your first month. Let me just find that. I think that's true. So yeah, that's probably the best tips I can give you. That way, yeah, you can really hit the ground running basically. Yeah, FBA Mogul, 30% off for your first month. But yeah, use the link in description. Cool. So that's the best tip there. So another question from Brandon. Have you had any experience with Amazon loans? They're offering me 4.5k at the moment. Need to have a deeper look into it. So I have been offered loans in the past. I don't think Amazon do loans directly now. I think they used to in the past. Well, they did. They definitely offered it in the past. Direct loans. But now I think it comes from a third party. Let me just check. I think I've got one on offer now, basically. Maybe it's disappeared. I don't know. Thought I had one up there, but there's a company that offers loans now in partnership with Amazon. They offered two options, I think. One was to take the money right away, and then one was like the credit's available if you want it, and if you don't take it, there's no charge. But if you do take it, then obviously they charge you. I mean, it's good if you've got loads of leads. If you're like running out of money and you've got and you've got loads of leads to buy, well, you've got kind of two options. You can start just leveling up your leads and leveling up the criteria, saying, okay, I'm going to pass up on everything like below 50% ROI because I've got limited money, or you can just take a loan and buy more stuff. So, but they're expensive. They're 6-7% now loans. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it makes sense if you can make 30% and you can churn that money 3, 4, 5 times in a year. So more times if you're doing RA and stuff like that. So going for faster items. Yeah, it's an individual thing basically. But yeah, I've never had to retake one. Capital's never been a huge issue for me. So yeah, and I'm happy with the growth that I've got. So yeah. Obviously do your research as well. That's the main thing I'd say with that as well. Hello and Uffles, thanks for joining. Let's get those views up. Thank you. Yeah, we've got 10 concurrent viewers. That's amazing. Honestly, that's really good. I'm really chuffed with that. So thank you all for coming. Do you ever use Price Spy to see the historical price of suppliers? No, I don't actually. I think I have heard of this, but no, I don't. But that's a really good thing, by the way. So I used to be a software engineer, and I've actually kind of coded this myself for one website because I wanted to basically see. It's one of the websites I order from the most, is to see the price history, so I know when I'm getting a good deal or not. And that's again another thing of like learning the category. Now, obviously, with something like Price Spy, you could probably do multiple categories, multiple things, and know the prices. So that's a really good like tool, I guess. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, you want to know the historical prices, so that way when you see, because I've done it in the past, by the way, I've seen something on sale, I'm like, yeah, this is profitable, cool, I'll buy it. Okay, this says I'm buying something for £12, selling it for 30 or whatever, or let's say 20. I'm like, that's a great purchase price, but then it turns out like a month later it actually comes on for 10, and I'm like, oh, I've overpaid for this now, and I've got less margin for error if more people jump onto the listing. And what happens inevitably is more people jump onto the listing, and then I end up taking a loss, or breaking even because everyone's got it for £10 and they can then drop their price down. And I'm stuck there with a cost of goods of 12. So it's really good to keep track of that stuff, and know exactly what the best sale is. And And more importantly as well, hopefully that thing will say as well, is how often these sales happen. So maybe this item that's normally £12, on sale most of the year or whatever, or there's like 4 sales a year, for example, and 3 of those sales is £12, but one sale it's 10. When you need to stock up then, don't you? And then you've got competitive advantage throughout the year. So not only is it good to know what the prices are and the historical prices, but also when the sales are on and when the best sales are on. So, yeah. Right. Sorry, I need to breathe when I'm talking. So, car collectibles. When will the mentoring group... What will the mentoring group entail? Really interested in wanting to utilise any service support. So this is something I floated a while back. I've not actually done or really thought too much about the mentoring. I have been coming up with a syllabus, and this is more, I guess it'd work for mentoring, but it's also for a course. Something I'm thinking of doing is recording a course. So my younger brother said to me, I want to get into Amazon FBA. I kept sending my results, and I sent him one day a text saying, oh look, I only made like $770 today profit, and I was like, right, that's it, I'm getting into FBA. So he was like, how do I get started? Have you got any like videos on getting started and stuff? And I was like, oh, you know what, I actually don't have like a really good, nice sequential bunch of videos to learn how to do Amazon. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Probably make it a paid course, super cheap though, like 50 quid a month, 50 quid total. Chuck a load of it on YouTube as well. I'm not sure yet I'm going to do it, but anyway, when it comes to mentoring, that's something I want to do as well. So right now I do sort of ad hoc coaching, one-on-one. But yeah, there's no like, I don't get repeat business from the coaching basis, let's put it like that. I tend to give away too much information in that 1 hour, and then no one needs to come back. Everyone seems very happy, but they don't ever come back. So maybe I need to have a more sort of sequential, linear way of doing this thing. Yeah, so I've got a syllabus kind of building up now. Yeah, so I will be looking into doing that basically, because I'd like to help people and see their journey progress as well. And there's loads to learn as well, from like reading Keeper well to sourcing and things like that. So that will be coming. Right. So Brandon again, taking good advantage, Brandon. I like it. We'll do this question, and then I'm going to jump into the Discord questions again, and I'll come back. So what resources, books, courses, or communities have been the most valuable in your FBA journey? For me, personally, 100%. The most I've learned how to actually do FBA is from, well, a few places actually. YouTube. I like binge, and anytime I want to learn something, I go onto YouTube, and there's like a dozen or hundreds of different people who can teach you basically. So find 2 or 3 of those guys that you gravitate towards and learn from them. So that's the best place to start with, I think, is YouTube. Get onto Discord, join a group like Mental Picks or Resale Concierge or Aftermarket Arbitrage. From there, you're going to see leads that people sell, so it gives you an idea of what people sell. You're going to learn what's a good lead, what's a bad lead. You're going to be able to ask people questions. You can even join my free Discord group as well, ask me questions, ask people questions. And yeah, doing that. And then ideally what you want to try and do is I guess, resonate with 2 or 3 other people, and then get your own little, private Discord going. That's what I've done. I'm in a group with the Nuffles and 2 other people, and we just kind of chat and throw ideas around, things like that. So, excuse me. So that's really good. No books that I'm aware of, just because it moves too quickly to do a book. But yeah, what else really? That's pretty much it, I think, for the most part. And then just those 3 things basically: YouTube, a general Discord group like Mental Picks, whatever, and then kind of not niching down, but like going down to like 2 or 3 people who you can just talk to, be open and honest with, share leads, bounce ideas off each other. Ideally, people that are in the same sort of level as you would be ideal, but it's not always possible. But yeah, and ideally you'll be on the same level and you'll grow together. Cool. Excuse me, God. So, okay, I'm going to jump into this other place now. I will get to your questions on the chat, guys. We just had a question in the Discord in my Discord community. Have you ever had a business account closed or converted to a personal account, and then have you managed to open another business account? So I've never had that experience. I started off as a sole trader. I then moved into doing business, a limited company. it took Amazon 73 days, I think it was, to move my account from sole trader to limited, which is very unusual. Normally it takes like 2 weeks. I don't know why it took so long, which kind of sucked, so I wasn't able to sell as much. But yeah, I've never had that experience. I know Amazon are very strict on multiple accounts, so if you get banned or something, just try and resolve that account first before you try and open another one, because they're extraordinarily strict when it comes to multiple accounts, like ridiculously strict. And seller support are terrible. Someone's asked a question here about the, and I'm not a chemist, by the way, guys, the, I'm not even going to try and pronounce butanol methylpropylene or something called Lylol anyway. It's an ingredient that was in perfumes. And it was banned in the UK in 2022, I believe. Some perfumes have it, and now Amazon are kind of cracking down now. And they're taking down a lot of listings, a lot of perfumes, a lot of aftershaves that have this, allegedly have this ingredient, but they don't. And I submitted on Friday, for a few listings. I took a picture of the box showing it wasn't in there. I took a picture from the manufacturer showing the ingredients, sent it to seller support, and they basically just said nope. And then one of them actually came back and said, "Oh no, you can't have this listing back because it contains this other ingredient that's totally unrelated." I don't know. Seller support's terrible on Amazon, so yeah. If your account gets banned, good luck. Basically, just stick. This is why I say just don't take any shortcuts with Amazon. Stick to the rules. Just be 100% legit. Just do this thing nice and slowly. Do it all properly, and you'll get there. Basically, don't take shortcuts. So we had 16 concurrent views there. That's amazing. Just drinking some vodka here, so yeah, not too much. Right, cool. So that answers that question. Right, let's go back to the chat here then. So Andy is asking, does it bother you if Amazon's on the listing, and do you tend to avoid? No, because I do a reasonable amount of Amazon to Amazon, so Amazon tend to stay on that listing. It's something to be wary of, but it depends what price they're selling for. So with Amazon to Amazon, there tends to be a big spike down on the price. If you can capture that item at that price, then it goes back to normal, and then it doesn't matter if Amazon's on there because you can still make a profit. It just depends what the history is on the Amazon price. You just need to look and see, if let's say you're going to buy an item and the price is like £20 that you can sell it for. Look at the keeper chart and make sure that Amazon are selling it for £20 a lot of the time. You don't want to see a big spike up where they're selling it for £20 now, but you look at the history for the year and, 99% of the time they're selling it for $9.99 because there's a damn good chance they're going to come back down to $9.99. So that's a scary thing, basically. So watch out for that. There's actually a lead post today, actually, where in a group where it was spiked up, and I looked at the history and it was like really low the entire time, like $8.99, and it spiked up. I think it was like 25.30, but for the entire year it was like $8.99, so avoided that. So yeah, in general, probably do want to avoid Amazon unless it's an Amazon to Amazon deal, but you got to look at the charts. It all depends, basically. That's the general answer to all this stuff, is it depends. But a general rule, I suppose, would be if Amazon's on the listing, be cautious, because they could screw you. Right. Excuse me again. So Brandon said if they share the buy box, that's yeah. That's the other thing as well. Just making sure they share the buy box as well. So not only is the price good, but that they share the buy box. So that's another good point. Thanks for mentioning that. So Brandon says, how do you stay updated with the latest changes and trends on Amazon Marketplace? That's a good one, really. This is where being a community helps, I suppose, because you kind of find out about things that maybe you didn't notice. I guess just being open to change is something important on Amazon, because you can't have the same strategy, I don't think, for years on end, because unless you've got like a very walled approach that no one else can like touch, that's very protected. Other people will tend to gravitate towards any strategy you're using, especially if it's very profitable. So you need to be willing to adapt. But yeah, how do I stay up to date? I just do this day in, day out, and just kind of find out from other people, talking to other people, and just learn myself, I guess. But yeah, I don't know have you got any examples maybe of a change or trend? But yeah, and the other thing as well is just using common sense as well. So I guess a big change and trend right now is this. A A lot of people in the past have done health and beauty and they've made good money from that. People have made 6 figures a year doing health and beauty, but obviously a lot of new sellers have come onto the marketplace now. What's the first thing that everyone gets into? Because all the groups ping these leads, health and beauty. So that market has just collapsed basically. Obviously, there's still money to be made, but it got so bad that some brands like La Roche-Posay, Vichy, Clinique, they all basically said to Amazon, "That's it, we're done," because everyone keeps, bricking the prices on Amazon. They're probably getting it in the neck from all the other retailers online because you can buy it cheaper on Amazon than you can from them, and they basically said enough's enough. Too much price tanking, maybe some fake stuff as well going on there as well. I don't know. Who knows the reason why exactly? And that now is a lot of those big brands like La Roche-Posay used to be a big staple of people on Amazon selling, and now you can't sell that brand. Same for Vichy. But yeah, so that's a trend, I guess, that's just gone. Do I do any unique bundling? Jordan has asked. Not seen something I've really looked into, but I've seen people success with it. So I have done a tiny bit in the past, but then I kind of abandoned it out of, I guess, laziness. Early on into my career, when I started selling on Amazon, I did actually find that, as I mentioned before, that example of like a shampoo and conditioner, and I was like, hang on, what? I can buy this shampoo for like, I think it was £2.50 in, I think it was Waitrose or Sainsbury's, and then the conditioner was £2.50, and then they were both, so that's £5 cost of good, and it was selling on Amazon for like 15 or 16. I can't remember exactly what the sale price was. I was like, nice, but then I guess you do, a lot of people when they first start out, you forget about the good items you've got. You're always looking for that new shiny object, and kind of forgot about that. I think that it didn't go on selling again that I saw, but I kind of forgot about it. So, but I know people like Nikos, who I do a podcast with, does a lot of unique bundles now. He does a mix of private label and normal sort of branded items. You can do that. It can be as simple as just doing like the shampoo conditioner or 2-3 packs. It's a good opportunity because it adds in like a barrier. So I think there's a huge amount of money and opportunity to be made out of that. I know there's a guy, Nikos was interviewing Anu, I think his name is. I can't remember his name now. Sorry about that if you're watching. I'm sure you're not. This guy does a lot of wholesale, and he bundles stuff from wholesale. So that's another good way. So I think it's a really good strategy. It's not something I do, but it's something I probably should get into because the profit can be very good. So, and I'm going to give them a free plug. There is a community called The Hive, and they talk about ordering bundles and stuff like that. So they can have that free plug there. It's quite expensive. It's £100 a month, but they talk all about unique bundles and the different levels of unique bundles from extremely basic all the way up to more complex. So good opportunity. I think the thing is with Amazon, there's so much opportunity, so much money to be made. It's insane. But it's like, it's a lot of effort to do it all. You kind of need to niche down a little bit. It's hard to do it all, basically. There's so much opportunity, so you kind of gravitate towards one method. And then you do see these, and it's good to have the tunnel vision, I guess, a little bit, as long as you're making money. But then other shiny objects and opportunities come along. And sometimes you just do need the blinkers to, so you don't get distracted because you're on a good path as it is. But if you're on a bad path, then it is good to look at other things. So, but there's so much opportunity, it's insane. It's kind of crazy, really. But yeah, good one to get into, honestly. So learn that one if you can. You'll find you'll have less competitors doing that, basically. So especially if you're getting it from wholesale as well. I mean, God, because then you've got the wholesale barrier, then you've got the bundle barrier. So 2 good barriers there, basically, to stop other sellers jumping on. Right. What have we got to say? What are the questions we've got here? So Cargill is saying, do you think RA leads tank more than OA? No, I think the opposite. I think OA tanks more than RA, except if it's a national sale. So in January, there was a national sale at Tesco's for Lego. It was basically in every single Tesco's in the country. Really early on into that sale, everyone knew about it, so everyone was going out. That's when I met my very first sort of fellow Amazon seller at Tesco. He was there with his seller ramp, looking, scanning everything really slowly. I was just in Lego discount, just put it in the basket and go. So, no, I think OA definitely tanks more. But this is where you kind of need to look at the chart history, and just with OA tends to be that holding's best. So you buy, let's say an offer comes on at, say, Holland and Barrett, you buy 100 units, 20 other people, 30 other people buy 100 units, the price tanks down, but you just need to wait out 2 or 3 months and the price recovers. All the people have sold out really early, have made barely any money. Then you hold out and then you sell and make a profit. And then the sale comes on again, and then the same pattern repeats basically over and over and over. So, but yeah, in general, no. RA does not brick as much as OA. So Brandon's asking, what are my long-term goals for FBA business? Yeah, it's an interesting one. So I think I did a video about this. Maybe I put my little pyramid of my plan. So I consider FBA like an amazing opportunity to make like a lot of money basically really quickly. So that's why I'm using that to then trying to funnel into other things. So it's like fast money, but not a business that's not sellable and not really sustainable and massively long term. It's like more in the fact that depends if you want to do this for like 10, 15 years or whatever. It's sustainable. It's going to be here in 10 to 15 years, but do you see yourself doing it in 5, 10, 15 years? You probably want to transition, take that money more into more sustainable businesses. So for me, I'll be taking this money, putting it into private label business, maybe more bundling and wholesale stuff. Trying to build a business that's more long term and ideally sellable. That's the main thing. So private label brands are sellable. Getting into software, that's sellable. Wholesale, maybe not. I don't know, but because you can't sell an OA RA business, and it stops when you stop essentially. So if you retire, that business basically disappears overnight. If you've got a private label brand that's making, I don't know, 250k, 300k a year, you can probably sell that for £1 million, to some sort of, not private equity, but there's these companies out there that buy a lot of private label companies up. Or if you make a software company that makes 300k a year, then again, you can sell that for, I don't know, 1.5 million or something like that. So that's what I plan on doing really, in terms of business. But yeah, I don't see myself doing OA, RA for more than maybe 3 to 5 years, really. Saying that though, if the money's good, I'll continue to do it. I can't just turn down money if I see an opportunity. So, yeah, I think that's why it's probably good to systematize stuff, try and outsource everything to do with your OA, RA into sort of VAs and employees maybe. Keep that churning over and then focus your efforts on other things, and that can continue almost on autopilot. There's nothing autopilot about FBA. So, Brandon, are there another question? Keep them up, thank you. Are there any emerging trends in e-commerce or FBA that you're particularly excited about? So I like the bundle thing. I think that's good. I think private label, again, is another big one as well. A lot more people are going into private label. It's a very natural transition. You get people coming to FBA from like sneakers, eBay reselling, sort of like PlayStation, Xboxes, graphics cards. A lot of those people have moved into FBA, doing OA, RA, and then you'll find the natural transition from that is then going from like OA, RA into like private label and wholesale. So, because it becomes, you do a more advanced thing basically. So that's what the trend is so far, private label, wholesale, bundles is good as well. And you can do the bundles in both of those categories, private label and wholesale. Yeah, so they're kind of interesting, I guess. I'm trying to think of other kind of trends, I guess, or things I'm excited about, really. I have to think about that one, but that's kind of off the top of my head. And how do I incorporate these into my current business strategy? So right now, I don't really. I am doing a little bit of private label on the side. Still not actually launched a product yet, but I think a trademark should be in now. I need to check with that. And yeah, just slowly transitioning into private label. Private label's not quick money; it's very slow money. It takes a while. You put an order in for £10,000 from China. It takes 6 to 8 weeks for it to arrive in the UK. Obviously, it goes into Amazon. Then you have to pay for advertising, all that kind of stuff to get it going. So you're probably looking at 3-4 months to churn your stock, maybe more, and then you have to do another order. And it's quite capital intensive. It's quite slow. Then maybe after 6 months, you can get another product going for another 10,000. So it's a good business, but it's much slower to scale than in OARA, where you can order from Tesco's, or it's here next day delivery, and you can get it into Amazon in 2-3 days. So yeah, cool. So that's so that's something I'm looking into doing basically. But yeah, it's definitely slower. How quick do Amazon request tax numbers once you go pro seller? It's a good question. I've not actually. I mean, it's been ages since I've actually done that. So this is the only downside of doing Amazon for like 2 years. People ask me like, "Oh, what did you do here?" And this, and I'm like, "I did that like 2 years ago, so I don't remember." Fairly quickly, I think. I think there's like a threshold. Is it like 4,000 or something in sales or something like that before they ask? But basically, just get your UTR number from HMRC right off the bat. Obviously, if you register as a limited company, then you'll have all sorts of numbers and just give them to them. So, yeah, just, I don't know, just have them ready, basically. Maybe someone else can ask how quickly they ask, but relatively quickly because HMRC want their cut, basically. But yeah, Titchmeister, thanks for joining, Titch. Didn't realise you were on. What's your biggest regret since you got into FBA? Not going to prep centre earlier or sticking with that and letting my apartment fill up with stock. Not systematizing the business more earlier on so that I can then focus on other things like software or other like private label, wholesale, things like that. So that's what I'm trying to do now, basically, slowly clearing out. This, you can't really see it, but this shelf mostly is gone now. There's one or two small items on there, but that's pretty much done now. Just need to clear out this shelf of stock, then get all my returns dealt with. But yeah, yeah, that's probably my biggest regret, I guess. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else really. I guess simple things like, you know, when I find a good deal, especially when you're newer, you know, you only buy like 10 or 20 units and you wish you bought 100 or 200 or 500 or 1,000. Those are pretty typical regrets, I guess, but you learn as you go. So, but yeah, definitely not systematizing things, being more organized when I first started so that I can try and extract myself from the business and focus on other things as well. So, or focus more on FBA, like sourcing more products or whatever, things like that. Thanks for the question, Titch. Titch is my lifelong friend, so thanks for joining. Carl Collectibles has asked, have you noticed that Amazon are ungating even hard brands straight away? As if, yeah, it seems like a bug at the moment. So a lot of people out there are basically submitting, I do not like this. And I see groups promoting this and people on Twitter promoting this as some sort of secret method that you should be using. And what they say is basically just submit a blank invoice. I just think it's such a bad idea. Your Amazon account is like really sacred. You don't want to take liberties with it, because if you get banned, it's basically impossible to get unbanned, and they'll basically ban you for life. So you don't want to take any chances with your Amazon account. And people promoting, submitting blank invoices and stuff like that is just so stupid as far as I'm concerned. Just do it properly. Ungating is not difficult. But yes, I have noticed that. So yeah, it's pretty good. That it's easier to ungate. So yeah, can't complain. But that's happened in the past as well, and then they clamp down again. Who knows why? It could be a bug in the Amazon site. This thing, Amazon was built like back in, I guess, the 90s, and they're probably still running code from back then, and they've patched things on top of it, on top of it, on top of it. So the foundation is probably pretty shaky. There's probably bits of code in there that no one knows how it works, and they don't dare touch it. This happened with banks as well. Like, they've got old stuff running on like old program engines like Fortran and COBOL and stuff, and they don't dare touch it because they're just like, yeah, it's just so old and it just works, so they just kind of leave it and they build on top. I think Amazon's like that as well. So sometimes these weird bugs come in and I swear they don't even know they're happening. Like with unlimited seller accounts, why do they happen? I don't think anyone really knows. Like why some people, some reason, sometimes get an unlimited account and they get it for like a week or two and then it disappears. It's so strange. Well, have you ever looked at the products that I was previously gated for? How I'm not gated without invoices. So sorry, let me read this correctly. I can't read. What's wrong with me? That was previously gated for, i.e. Barbie, but I'm not ungated for without invoices. So yeah, again, I think it's like a weird bug right now, or it could be that your Amazon account's maturing as well. I think obviously when you're a new seller, there's certain categories you can't get ungated in. I ran into this when I first started. Tommy Tippy, for example. I've jumped through all the freaking hoops that they asked me for, like ungating Baby and Tommy Tippy and whatever else. And then at the end of it, they just said, nope, you can't sell in that category. And then after like 3 months, they're like, yeah, sure, bring come along. So I think it's more of like a security thing, just to make sure there's no one's, especially with sensitive categories like baby feeding. I totally understand. you don't want a new seller jumping on. So I think as your account matures, it's like now pretty much ungated for most stuff automatically, to be honest. It's pretty nice. But it might be because of this bug, but it might be because my account's quite mature now. But yeah, so it's nice. Take advantage while it lasts. Just do it properly. Make sure you get those 10 items. A thing I have noticed, by the way, is on some items, or some brands I should say, if you're going to ungate with Amazon now, you need 50 units. So they've kind of like clamped down a little bit on the Amazon to Amazon ungating, but it's not on every listing and it's not on every brand. Yeah, so yeah. Excuse me. Is it worth staying away from products that require transparency codes? So Brandon, transparency codes are a thing created by Amazon for brands to protect their stuff on Amazon. So you don't tend to find transparency codes from retailers because it doesn't make any sense. It's made for specifically for Amazon, as far as I'm aware anyway. I don't think I've seen it anywhere else. So when you're finding transparency codes, you know, it's fine to get it if you're buying it from Amazon to sell on Amazon because they should have the codes on there already. But if you're buying it from like a retailer, unless they just do every single item and they're like, okay, well, as we're manufacturing this, even if it's not going to be sold in Amazon, we're still putting transparency code on there. Unless they're doing that because it just streamlines the process, there won't be transparency codes, and therefore you won't be able to sell. So I don't stay away from it, but unless it's, you know, I do stay away from it. Sorry, unless it's Amazon to Amazon, then I don't care because it should have it on there. So yeah, it's not something to be worried about too much. If you're doing Amazon to Amazon. But yeah, it's always worth checking that. So, awesome questions, guys, by the way. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to answer these. So let me just go back and answer a couple from the Discord chat that I've got. How much is it for Amazon to remove when you turn your inventory? That's a good question. I think it's 60p, but I feel like you get a certain amount free. It's not something I worry too much about, to be honest. But I know people have been burned in the past where like their Amazon accounts got like banned or suspended for a while, and they sent in a lot of stock. Let's say they sent in like, I don't know, 10,000 units of an item, and then they got charged 60p an item to get it returned, and then get landed with a £6,000 bill. So I know that's affected some people in the past. I feel like you get a certain amount of returns free, or if it's in with a certain period or certain category, you get free returns. I'm not sure off the top of my head because I don't really mind it, I guess. Don't really look at it, I suppose, because there's not much I can do about it. So I guess it's one of those things I just don't really look at it, yeah, because there's nothing I can do about it, and I don't tend to recall too much stuff anyway. But yeah, I think off the top of my head, 60p per item. So, and I think even to dispose of items, there's still a charge. I can't remember what it is as well. So, but yeah, I think it's like 50, 60p an item as well. But I feel like there is some free returns though. Yeah, because there was a weird thing in America, I'm sure it's happened in the UK, where some random lady was getting thousands of parcels turning up every day to her home, like a random Amazon inventory. And, you know, she just let them pile up outside her home. And it's on YouTube somewhere. And every day Amazon were turning up with vans load of stuff, and she had all this inventory just sat on her lawn. I mean, I'd personally be like, yeah, I'll sell this. But what was happening is basically Chinese sellers didn't want to pay like the 60p per item disposal fee. So what they did is they found it cheaper just to send it to a random address in America and do like the Amazon return stuff to get it out of the warehouse in Amazon where they're paying storage fees and stuff. So just find a random address on Amazon, on in the US or whatever, and just send the returns to that. And that's what they did. And this woman was getting all these parcels just piling up outside her home. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, she just didn't want any of it basically. So eventually Amazon figured out what was going on, and they banned those sellers for abusing that. But so there must be some sort of free element to the returns. But you know, Amazon UK and US don't always mirror each other. Policies tend to come out in the US first and then follow in the UK. Like if a brand gets banned in the USA, like Clinique, you can be damn sure it's going to be banned in the UK and things like that basically. But it tends to happen in the US first and then come to UK. Cool. I think that's pretty much it from the Discord. Right, we've got any questions here. Alex has got a question. Can you expand on what you mean when you say you regret not introducing systems into your business? So, I mean, systematizing things, so documenting everything that you're doing. So, for example, it could be like keeping on top of replens, like knowing that you're going to visit a certain website on a certain, maybe once a week, checking out for replens. Documenting how you buy items, how you're going to do the replens again. And that way you can pass, once you know and you've documented like the step-by-step process of everything you do in your business. Maybe it's like how to actually get invoices from a retailer. How does that work? Well, you have a list of different sites and every site has a different way of doing invoices. So Argos, for example, you can just log into the website, go to the order thing and just click download invoice. Or it could be someone like Boots where you have to actually email them and get an invoice and chase them like 10 times to get an invoice. So documenting that, and then once you've documented all the steps, then you can hire a virtual assistant and palm it off onto them, basically. And then that's one less thing in your mind to deal with. So chasing invoices, doing replen, reorders, I don't know, whatever it is, basically, researching stuff, whatever part of your business you're doing, if you end up doing it a lot, just document how you do it and then pass it on to someone else. So that's something I'm working on now, basically. Trying to palm off essentially a lot of the tasks that I do onto someone else. A great one is like an admin VA, chasing invoices, things like that. Just pass it on to someone else. I had one in the past. I got rid of her stupidly when I was trying to cut costs. Now I regret it. That's another regret as well. Many regrets. But yeah, so that's that's what I mean basically. Because essentially you want to try and, your time is valuable as a business owner, so you don't want to be doing admin. You don't want to be doing boring, mundane tasks like prepping. It's fine to do it when you start out. You're trying to maximize your profit, but is your time better spent sourcing new products where you can make 30, 40, 50% ROI, or just trying to save like 50p a night on packing? It's probably better off sourcing because you're bottlenecked on how much you can pack. And then when you're packing, you're not sourcing or doing something a more valuable task. So you want to take something where you can pay, someone in the Philippines or a prep center or something. In the Philippines you can get a virtual assistant for 25,000 Filipino pesos a month, which is about 300 pounds or something. I can't remember what it is now. 350 maybe. And then basically palm off all those tasks onto them, and that's a good wage for them, so they're happy with that. And then prep as well, basically pass that on to someone else if you can, and that's what I mean basically. And then that gives you more time to focus on other things. So for me, for example, it might be writing software. I've got a bunch of software ideas. I just came up with another one today actually, which I'm really bullish on doing, so I want to get that done. It's related to replenishable items, so that'd be really awesome because that's an area that definitely is neglected by people. I want to focus on other business things at FBA, like maybe sourcing new categories, maybe doing more of the category I do. Maybe it's getting into wholesale, doing more private label, doing bundles. So I'd rather focus on real value add tasks that, where I spend 1 hour and then the multiple of money I can make from that 1 hour could be 100, 200, 300, 500, even more. Whereas if I prep a box, for an hour, well, I might save £20. That's it, really. So I've basically traded that 1 hour for £20. Are you better to do that, or are you better to try and trade it in for £1,000? Which is what you can do, by the way. If you find one good lead, guys, you can make a freaking fortune off it. So, some leads out there can make a lot of money if you find a good one, like a huge amount of money. So yeah, cool. Any other questions, guys, before we wrap it up? Hopefully, I've answered a lot of the questions there, and it's been useful for you guys. So check out the Discord, see if any questions in here. No more questions, but yeah, thanks guys for watching. Anyway, we've got another sort of 12 minutes. I'll stay on in case you've got any follow-up questions. There's a massive delay in me filming this and it coming onto YouTube. It's like 30-45 seconds. But yeah, ask some questions, guys. Take advantage. I'll wait and see if something comes in. And after this, I need to go and get some dinner. So I bought myself some sushi, but I don't actually fancy it for dinner. So I'll go and figure out something nicer. So I had sushi for lunch. So yeah, I thought, I'd have sushi for lunch and dinner. No, I don't want sushi for dinner. So yeah, I need to start clearing out this fucking, excuse my language, the shelving units here. I need to start prepping and packing. But a lot of these ones here, by the way, I've run into issues with that Lilal ingredient stuff. Don't know how you pronounce it. But yeah, so that's my next step. By the end of this month, this office is going to be cleared out. That is my goal. I've got some boxes. I can never point the right way. I can always look at the camera. Got some boxes there ready to go, so they need to go out. Need to carry them down for UPS tomorrow. And yeah, we're close to getting my apartment back. So yeah, any more questions, guys, or should we wrap it up? I think we're getting there. So, well, I will stay on for a little while anyway. Maybe I'll just ramble on. We got 16 concurrent views, guys, which is really amazing. So that's pretty awesome. I never thought I'd get that many so soon. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you're not already, join my Discord group. That's awesome. If you're looking to do retail arbitrage, join Mental Picks. That's a great Discord group as well. Got loads of leads in there. Big fan of that site. That Discord group. But yeah, what else can we talk about? Let's check out how much I made since this thing's been going on. So I can't remember what I was on before, but I think I've had another couple of sales. 440 profit now, so not too bad. Yesterday was a banger actually. Did 666 profit yesterday. Must have had a refund. It was higher than that. Must have had a cancellation. So yeah, Zan's got any. Have you got any Amazon to Amazon tips? I did a whole video on Amazon to Amazon, by the way. So check out the channel for that. Be quick. Buy first, ask questions later. Shoot first, ask questions later. So you see a ping pop up, don't try and sit there and analyse it. Buy the damn thing on 3 accounts. Once you've got those orders secured, then go back and then look and see if you should cancel it or keep it. That's probably the biggest tip I can give you. Because right now, the best Amazon to Amazon pings, they go rapid, like really rapid. So you need to be on the ball, get the orders in, and go from there basically. So yeah, that's probably the biggest tip I can give you. Other tips really, just again, look at the keeper charts, understand, not every Amazon to Amazon ping that a group puts out is going to be good. In fact, a lot of them are rubbish. So you need to look at the history, the price history. So bought, not built, can you do a video on how you pay yourself? I mean, I could do, but I don't pay myself. So it's something I probably need to start doing at some point, but I have not paid myself a penny out of my business in 2 years. So it's something I probably should be doing at some point, but I've been all about the reinvestment. And I've been fortunate enough that I didn't need to take the money out, but I have dwindled down my savings a little bit, to be fair. Although it's obviously gone into Amazon essentially. But the gist of it is, in the UK, we all get a tax-free allowance. It's roughly around 12,000 right now, I think it is. So you can pay yourself 12,000 as a salary, and that's basically tax-free. I think there's a little national insurance in there. Again, speak to your accountant. Once you paid yourself the basic rate of, say, 12,000, then anything above that should be paid as dividends. You can only pay yourself dividends from profits from the company. So your accountant might be a bit like, you can't pay yourself dividends yet. We've not actually posted a profit. But yeah, that's the way to do it. Basically, is to pay. You do the dividends, because you get the tax rate for dividends is, I think the lowest rate is 8.75%. I think it is for the low band, and then it goes up. Then it's 33.5 or something like that for high rate taxpayer versus 20% for normal income and 40% for normal income for high rate taxpayers. So it's much more tax efficient, basically. But yeah, I've not done that. And to be honest, I've probably lost down a bit of money because I should have paid myself something. Anyway, it is what it is. I was all about the reinvestment. And then Andrew Jones, really enjoying your YouTube content. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that, honestly. I really do. Just wondered what techniques you use to bypass order. Oh yeah, I'm very sorry. I totally missed that question. Sorry, I totally blanked on that. It's a really good question as well, so I apologise. Don't know how I missed that one because it's a really good question. So what techniques do you use? Well, it gets tricky, especially when you're VAT registered, because your billing address always needs to be the same. You can't it's not like the old days of sneakers and PlayStations where you can just put any random address to try and bypass the limits. You have to have that billing address correct, and with your business name in there as well. You might be able to possibly tweak your business name slightly, but that gets dangerous. And the reason you need to have the business name in there is when you're claiming the VAT back from HMRC, they basically want to make sure you're not double dipping when you're not trying to claim that twice or 3 times, which is why it's not very common, but some people have only put their personal name in there, but they're technically claiming it back on the business, and HMRC are worried that you're going to claim it back twice, once to the business and once your personal name. So they've declined people's VAT claims basically based on that. So you need that billing address to be, that's the first hurdle you can't kind of get past basically. But what you can do is obviously jig your email, get different emails, catch-all emails. You can use different delivery addresses if you want. Potentially might help. So one thing I do if I'm trying to bypass, get orders through, different cards. So you can use like Amex Gold, for example, business one. They give you, I think it's 40 additional card holders, 30 or 40, maybe it's 20. I can't remember. Anyway, I've obviously not done that many. I've got like 5 or 6. But you can add additional card holders, which I just do as my own name, probably against the rules. I don't know. I've not had a problem with it. And then use that card number, and it's all linked to the sort of main Amex account. So I think even with like the personal one, you get 1 or 2 free additional card holders. So that's ways to go about it. You can, trying to think what else. You can try and get a Revolut business account. I wasn't able to get one because they just declined me. They were asking for all sorts of weird information about my business, like proof of suppliers and stuff. Really weird. Anyway, they wouldn't accept me because they obviously do virtual cards, which is another good way to get bypass orders. Obviously, when it comes to just making sure you use a VPN maybe or change your IP address as well. Don't use the same browser. Use like because obviously they can track cookies, they can track IP addresses, they can track addresses, they can track cards, they can track names. But you want to mix all these up basically to stop, And some sites are better than others basically when it comes to tracking those things. So I apologise I didn't get to that question. I totally missed it. You also asked as well, multiple accounts, of course. Do I use Password Manager? Yeah, I use Dashlane. There's LastPass, there's OnePass. I use Dashlane myself. It's fine, makes things a tiny bit quicker, I guess, at times. And then do I stick to sites where you can order in volumes? Yeah, I do that as well, basically. So there's sites out there which I do get banned on, and I do order more stuff. I have to get a new card in. I can get 1 or 2 orders in before they ban me again. They got really good at stopping me, basically. So that kind of sucks. But yeah, so sorry, I apologise for missing that question. Cool. What's the next one? Do you just eBay your return? So I did another video on this as well, the whole process. Check out my channel for that, of what I do. But essentially the gist of it is, as an item comes in that's, returned from Amazon, obviously inspect it first. If it's obviously brand new seal, I'll just send it back into Amazon. If it's just opened, then I'll basically, and it looks fine, it's not been used or anything like that, which sometimes you get. Again, I'll send it into Amazon. I'm trying to get this stuff back into Amazon basically. So I'll send it in as used new or used very good. So basically I'm looking at it and quickly analysing, can I sell this as used like new, used very good, used acceptable, and then send it back into Amazon. If it's totally buggered, then I'll eBay it basically, or just donate it. Or if it's missing a box or something, which happens a lot of times, you get a return, the box is missing, you can't really Amazon that. I suppose you could put it in a plain box, sell it as used average or something acceptable, maybe. But at that point you tend to eBay it. So yeah, and then just eBay the rest. And then if you can't send it to Amazon, you can't send it to eBay. So first step's obviously Amazon, second step's eBay, third step's donate, and fourth step's the bin basically. That's what I do basically. That's my process for that. So bought, not built. I want to grow my Amazon and live out the UK for 9 months to save corp tax and be more efficient. Have you thought about this? Yeah, kind of, but it's where you're going to live. You need to. So I've got a friend who is looking to do this in Dubai. But you need to spend 6 months of the year in Dubai, I believe, and you become a tax resident of Dubai. So there's a few downsides to it. Obviously, you save money on corporation tax and income tax, things like that. But you have to spend 6 months in Dubai. Now, you may see that as a perk or a downside. I don't know. For me, it sounds like a downside personally, but for other people, they love it there. I've never been, to be fair, so it might be amazing. And then you can also, I think, only spend 3 months of the year in the UK, which again might be a good thing or a bad thing. So it all comes down to personal preference. I'm not an expert on it. I've just briefly talked to people about that, and that's my understanding on that one. I'm not sure what other countries you can do the tax residency with. I just know Dubai, I believe it is, has like 0% tax or very low tax, so that's a good place to go there. But yeah, then you've got to spend 6 months in Dubai, so that kind of limits you. If you spend 9 months 9 months of the year outside the UK, you basically can only visit you can spend 6 months in Dubai and then maybe 3 months somewhere else, then back in the UK for 3 months. So it does limit your options a little bit, and you have to go to Dubai every year for 6 months. So yeah, but you could save some money if you're making hundreds of thousands of pounds, like my friend is making 350,000-400,000 a year. He's going to be saving a lot of money on those tax bills. So I can kind of understand it a little bit, to be honest. So I'm not at that level. I'm making probably 100,000 a year now. So as long as things carry on, for me, it's probably not worth it. Any cost that I'd have moving to Dubai would be wiped out by rental and things like that. So. Cool. Right. Last couple of questions. I'm trying to research categories per your previous video. I'm using Excel file. Realised how much patience is required. Yeah, it does take a while. Yeah. It takes a couple of months, I think, to get good, especially if you don't know anything about the category. So it's like when I've just created 2 groups now of some people that are going to do researching, and one of the groups I've not decided yet. But the other one they're going to do, I probably shouldn't say actually, but anyway, they're going to do this category. I won't say, it's not fair. But yeah, obviously they're going to need to learn the brands, the sites, everything about it. And some of them aren't experts in this particular category, so you're going to have to learn it. That's the only way to do it, basically. And then when a good sale comes on for a good brand, you're like, that's a good sale, that's a good brand that doesn't come on sale very often. So that's why you need to learn that. Yeah, cool. No more questions. I think we're good. Yeah, thanks guys for coming on anyway. Really appreciate it. It was really good. So 16 concurrent views I think I saw at the peak, which is amazing. 40 views in total, which again is really amazing. And yeah, some fantastic questions, guys. Hopefully I've answered those for you, and hopefully you can now use that information to build your Amazon business and grow to that level that you're looking for, whether it's just making £100 extra a day or £500 a month, whatever you're trying to do, basically. It's all possible. And there's guys out there making insane money. So sky is the limit. Like I say, I know a guy making 350, 400,000 a year. He's only been doing Amazon for 3 or 4 years now. So pretty good money there. Pretty good money. You can get a Lambo for that, or do whatever you want, basically. So thanks, guys, anyway. Really appreciate it. I'm going to log off now and go and get some dinner. But yeah, cheers, guys. And I'll hopefully do another one of these in maybe a couple of weeks or a month or so. But yeah, we'll see. Okay.